What is up, everybody? Welcome to another modern video. Today we're going to be playing something very interesting. This deck list that you see right here is something that Puntthenwhine came up, and the concept for this amulet deck list is that we are kind of sick of losing to Grixis Shadow. So what this deck list is trying to do is trying to splash white for sideboard cards like Prismatic Ending, Celestial Purge, and Rest in Peace. And while we're at it, we are trying out also a card that is fantastic in the Amulet archetype. This is a card that whenever it was spoiled in Modern Horizons 1, people tried it and it actually did a lot of work. And I was always very impressed by the card back both in the Green-White Reclaimer deck and also in Reclaimer Amulet deck lists as well. So Alarm Skull has always been a very good card in Amulet. It's just, is it really worth it to make room for it in in the Amulet mana base, which is already kind of shaky? So since we're trying to go a little bit more deep into the white splash, playing the Alarm Skull in this deck makes a ton of sense to me. Also, a side effect of playing Alarm Skull in the main deck is that you can fit a single copy of Endurance in the main deck, which can be an absolute blowout against not only the Shadow decks and all of the other DRC decks like Murktide and stuff, but also against Graveyard Strategies and also against stuff like Mill. So because of that, I think that Alarm Skull is just a fantastic addition to the deck. And not only that, but I also think that this deck list is very good at what it's intending to do. So because Puntthenwhine expected a ton of Grixis Shadow in the showcase, this is the deck list that he submitted. So we're gonna be trying it out through a league, and we're gonna see how everything just lines up against. Hopefully, we can do it paired against Shadow. I think in the past like 4 leagues I played, I got paired against Shadow every single time. So I'm expecting that we will get paired against Shadow here as well. But even besides that, we actually have we have game against kind of everything really, barring something like Belcher where we will need to get really lucky. But against anything else, we're kind of looking not bad. One thing that I really like is the fact that we have access to Dryad plus Prismatic Ending against the Blood Moon decks. Same thing with the Celestial Purges. But yeah, so let's go over the mana base real quick. The mana base is fairly simple. We are looking at the classic Amulet mana base, but we're going up to 4 copies of Celestial Sanctuary, and then we're adding a couple of copies of Temple Garden. Then of course we need to make a little bit of a concession, and we're only playing 3 basics with 2 fetch lands. So the fetch lands, if we need basics, we can go fetch those. Otherwise we can go get our white sources. And not only that, but we're also adding Kaheera Crossroads. Whenever you have any Amulet deck list that's splashing white, Kaheera Crossroads is more often than not just kind of a no-brainer really. Particularly if you are trying to use cyber cards. We saw this way back in the day when splashing white for Path to Exile was the tech. So how times have changed, haven't they? But yeah, this is a deck list that we're going to be trying out today. Hopefully we do well. Hopefully we do get paired against Shadow, and we do get to test, put the theory to test. So we'll see how things go. If you're enjoying the content, of course, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below with any mistakes I make, with any cool plays that you liked, or just say hi. So I'll see you for round number 1. See you there. Here we go. Round number 1, Lurrus. Yeah, let's keep this hand. Sounds pretty interesting. Opponent keeps 7. We can go probably Cavern on 1. And we're gonna name Giant. Gonna name Giant. And we're gonna play our Amulet. Very important that we play this Amulet on turn 1 to protect it from discard spells and stuff like that. We could be playing against Hammer, though. We are playing against Hammer. We are not playing against Hammer. Oh man, this is just a roller coaster of emotions. So they're probably gonna take our Dryad. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, it is Hammer, but with main deck Thoughtseizes. Okay. Well, we can't really pact for Dryad here, so Let's just do the thing. Just do the thing, get our triggers. That's not a terrible draw. It's not great either, but I guess it depends on what my opponent has here. If they have Cigar the Sade into stuff, this so far seems okay to me. Imagine they get Shadow Spear. Well, that probably means that they have an Equipper. They don't have an Equipper, so because otherwise, obviously, getting a Hammer would be so much better. Dryad would be fantastic. No Dryad. I think we just play this Valakut and say go. So if we find Primeval Titan, or if we find a Susa, we can get him with the Titan next turn. Well, there's the Cigar the Sade. Oh, they already had the Hammer in hand. Okay. Certainly would love to see an Azusa. Okay. So, we're gonna go Crumbling Vestige. This casts Azusa, then we play Growth Chamber twice. Pact for Titan. Blade Titan, attack, swing for 8. We're gonna have to watch out for the Shadow Spear. We have to set up Dryad for next turn. We die to another... We are dead to another Colossus Hammer, which is unfortunate. But I don't think there's much for us to do. So play that, bounce this, play this. Green mana, Summoner's Pact for prime time. We do have a Valakut in play. Garrison, Stronghold. We also have a lot of mana into play because we have Crumbling Vestige, which allowed us to do all this stuff while also developing mana. Which is pretty nice. We have to make sure that we can pay for Pact here. So let's get... Definitely want to get Kaheera West. Definitely want to get Kaheera West, and I think I'm going to get Castle Garenbrig. We don't have double green, which makes things really awkward. I guess I could have played around this by just playing the growth chamber again instead of playing the vestige. But I wanted to make sure that I have a bounce land in hand, but I guess I could have just bounced the Border's Garrison. Yeah, I think I may have messed up here. Because I put myself in a spot where now I just have to get lucky, which is obviously not where I want to be. So they're gonna take 8 next turn. I'm assuming that they don't have another hammer because I'm just dead to that. I cannot beat it, so can't play around it. So I just block here on prime time. 6 damage, make it through. Then I untap, and I can go find. Yeah. I can go find Dryad. Can I establish lethal with Dryad? Probably not. Pure Steel Paladin. Why would they not do this pre-main phase to draw a card of the Shadow Spear? Weird. Seems like left value on the table for no reason. Let's tap a white source here because we're gonna have more white here. Okay, so we're going to do T-West, Transmute, and then we're gonna have 2 land drops left. Opponent's at 16. Can I present lethal here? think I'm gonna have to go for Primeval Titan. And if I can activate this Stronghold twice, I can kill them. So do I have enough mana? 1, 2, 3. That's one land drop and the transmute. Then I'm gonna have second land drop, third land drop, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana, play prime time. We can go Vesuva. I think I'm not gonna have enough colors. I think I'm short on colors, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm just short on colors. I can force my opponent to chump with the Stoneforge Mystic, but it doesn't really do anything for me. And then I have to chump again with the prime time, which is also not great. Don't have explosives main deck. Oh, I can go for Cultivator Colossus. I think I need to go for Cultivator Colossus, because what I have is just not enough. So, oh, I don't have enough green mana. Whoops. Whoops. I had to float a colorless and leave the green floating. I thought I had one more land drop left. I just used it up. All right, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Let's see if I could have gotten lucky. No, I couldn't have. I would have been short on. What I needed to do is I needed to hit like a couple of bounce lands before drawing into a Primeval Titan, so I could do everything, but unfortunately, wasn't gonna get there. Yeah, that game could have been played a lot better, couldn't it? Okay, so this is what we want. These are the cards that are good. Can shave one cavern. Not a big fan of Cultivator Colossus in this matchup. I don't like endurance. Force is obviously fantastic. I guess on the play, I'm not gonna bring in the prismatic endings. Maybe on the draw I do, but I don't think on the play I need to be doing that. I don't think on the play I need to be doing that. Because on the play I can just be a little bit more proactive and try to make sure that I am executing my own game plan as opposed to reacting to my opponents. And yeah, I think it's fine. Maybe on the draw I will make the switch though. Maybe on the draw I can interact with my opponent's stuff, but sure, keep. We do have Devil Amulet here. Do I need to get value from this saga? Do I need to get value from this saga? Yeah, I think I can afford to. Opponent moves to 6. So next turn we're gonna go Crossroads Amulet into Saga Amulet. You have Thoughtseize on 1 again. Okay. The good thing is that none of this really matters, right? So that's not really a great Thoughtseize. Sure, they take my amulet, but whatever. Memnite. Here's an amulet. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna play the Grazer here. And then play Saga. It's not like Grazer can really net me mana, because I only have one green source right now. So, you can just chill here. Ingenious Smith. Okay. I think they messed up they were supposed to. Just pass the turn here. But I think my opponent was supposed to do this, like save the Mem Knight for after they played the Smith. They missed on a counter for no real reason. They're gonna get a couple of counters here, which is nice for them. On the other hand, we don't really care about their Saga plan because we go way over the top their Saga plan. Would be nice to draw primetime though. Okay. So that's a T-West. Let's play the T-West here. And I think I want to get in there for some damage here. One can block with a 3/3 construct, and they have 3/3 Ingenious Smith, but I'm fine trading with the construct, I think. So I'm gonna need a way to play extra lands in order to transmute this to Lurrus West. Or I can just draw a primetime and, you know, just be Gucci, but that would be the ideal. Would be the ideal case scenario. I wonder if my opponent, I was gonna say, I wonder if they just go get Lurrus, they go get Python Needle and name Lurrus West. Because that would have been kind of a beating. Sigarda Seid. Interesting. I'm gonna take the chump here while my opponent can't put a hammer into play. Okay, so now I can go 1, 2, 3. Play Azusa, blue, blue, and then Boros Garrison. So let's go play this. We're not going to be able to cast the Titan here, but we're setting up the Titan for next turn. 1, 2. Play Azusa, have blue floating. Oh wait, can we just Titan? We actually can Titan right now, that's sick. Awesome. Azusa is so good, man. People constantly are cutting down on Azusa's in Amulet, and I'm just like, why? Why are you doing that? Azusa's great. Here's Johnny. Yes, they don't have colored mana, so we are good to go here. We have red, white, and tapped there. So what I want to do is I want to get. How do I can get Sanctuary plus Stronghold. That leaves me with red, white, and tapped. Then on yeah, okay, so that's the play. So Stronghold, Sanctuary here. Gotta make sure that we stack our triggers properly. Float mana, make sure we leave that untapped. Haste there. Activate there. Bounce this. Say yes. Move to combat. Attacked with everything. And now we get Valakut plus Sunhome. Valakut, Sunhome. Rev. Double strike. Here we go. It looks lethal to me. Thanks to see the silly constructs over here. That's still 20, my friend. Yep, you can move your blockers around however you want. You can move your blockers around however you want. Sweet. Now we are on the draw, so ending becomes a lot more exciting. Does it become exciting enough? Asusa's so good. Asusa's so good. Maybe we're Iladamri's call? I don't think I want to cut down on calls though, because we only have the single Tolera West. Yeah, let's just go with this. Just go with this. I think this is fine. Am I just keeping this? I think I am. Hopefully I don't have turn 1 Thoughtseize again. Looks like they do. Jeez. Alright. Turn 1 Thoughtseize every single game. It's definitely good against us. Turn 1 Thoughtseize is certainly pretty good against us. Primetime is a good draw though. Primetime is a good draw. I'd much have rather drawn an Asusa. Alright. Mono Thoughtseizes. That Saga puts on some pressure. I was feeling fine until I saw the Saga. Saga means I'm not feeling fine anymore. Saga means I'm not feeling fine anymore. We really need to find like a Dryad. Either a Dryad or an Asusa would be my best draws here. Either one of those would be fantastic for me. It's a blank. That is a card that doesn't do anything. I think I have to back for Asusa here. Falling too far behind otherwise. This maximizes the amount of untapped mana that I'm gonna have next turn. So now they make a token. Then they get, what's his name? Get the hammer. Man, sure would have been awesome to draw like any card at all. Just draw any spell whatsoever. Would have been great. Whiffed on the Smith, not that it really matters. I'm gonna take this 12 damage. Means we're dead on the following turn. But I don't think there's too much I can do about it. My opponent's draw was just a little bit too good. So, does that help save me? It gives me a chump blocker for a turn. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I mean, technically I can cast a Primeval Titan. Unclear how much that's actually going to, how good that's actually going to be. I guess if I draw exactly Amulet. If I draw exactly Amulet, then we're in business. And I'm not blocking with the Asusa, so I may as well attack. Because my opponent's life total actually may matter. I can't beat Second Hammer, obviously. I cannot beat Shadow Spear. I cannot beat many cards here. The double Thoughtseize was just a lot. Double Thoughtseize was a lot. Okay. Okay. So we go down to 2. Amulet for the win. Amulet wins the game. Primeval Titan does not. Dryad may be able to win the game. Yeah, it doesn't do it. So we can cast Prime Time. We can haste Prime Time. We can bring my opponent down to 3. But that's just not enough. So, because I can go 3 and transmute bounce, that's 1 land drop. Then I play the Saga. And I cast Titan using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Then I get Crumbling Vestige plus bounce land, and I use I bounce the Vestige, and I use my 3rd land drop to replay. But so that's not an option. Engineered Explosives, also not an option. Engineered Explosives, also not an option. Are there any other lines that I have available to me? Not really. No. I think that's just game. I can bring my opponent down to 3. That's so close. Pretty rough. Yep. Gonna go through the motions for fun. Just to show my opponent how close we really were. We really were at of killing them. Just for show. Again, a game that was only close because of Azusa. A game that was only close because of Azusa. So close. So close. All right. See you next round. All right. Round number 2. Kaheera over there. Is this hand good against Kaheera? Not really. I'll keep it though. Probably a control deck of sorts. But we can go turn 1 Gracer, turn 2 Expedition map. We can map for Cavern, which is nice. So this hand is not like absolutely insane against the Kaheera deck, but it's not that bad either. Scalding Tarn. Ooh, that's a card. All right. Here's my Dryad. And I'm going to set up like this because if my opponent taps out, they just get got. Because I have 2 untap lands and I can cast the Titan next turn. Rogin Triumph. Well, unless they have Solitude, they should not have a way to answer this Dryad. Nice. Let's play this. Swing for 2. And this is just looking very good for us. Gonna have... Even if my opponent does answer the Dryad, they just get Titaned. Can't haste the Titan, unfortunately. Sure. I guess I don't even have to go for a Cavern. Probably still gonna go for a Cavern. Just to set things up, but don't really have to. Just get double Saga here. Get that party started. And I'm protecting this Cavern from Spreading Seas. Yep. Opponent could have Wrath here, but it's not really doing anything. Okay, so some form of control. This seems good. I like Endurance against control a fair amount. And I guess I'm bringing in Gargaroth. Okay, yeah. It's not like control plays Path to Exile anymore, right? So big Gargs is kind of alright. Okay, I'm into it. I'm into it. Let's see how things line up here. Yep, I'm definitely about this life. Keep this, put him most to 6. Now the question is, do I want to Amulet on 1? I think I want to sandbag the Amulet because my opponent's playing Prismatic Endings. So what I can do is I can go turn 1 Gracer. Put this Sanctuary into play. Then next turn, nice. I'm gonna play my Dryad. I'm gonna name Giant. And I think I'm gonna pass the turn. Attack with Gracer, of course. Still protecting this Amulet from Prismatic Ending. My opponent cannot really ending the Dryad, or it's a lot harder for them to ending the Dryad, I should say. The Fairy Time Raveler. So they minus on Dryad. Fetch land. This time I am actually going to play out this so I can play a second Dryad. My opponent can then Wrath, but if they Wrath, then they just get Titaned. I guess they can Wrath at instant speed, which is a little bit of a beating. But I think that this is a fine play. And even if my opponent... Okay, that just makes things even easier. So they do have the ending after all. So I correctly played around it, which feels good. So float a mana. Bounce this. Replay. Still have one land drop remaining. And we're gonna get... I guess technically I could go for lethal here. Yeah, let's actually just go for lethal. Save targets. Yeah. So we just do 12 here plus 2, that's 18, and then the attack means 20. Sweet. Yeah, we could have gotten got by Solitude by doing this, and then if they go Solitude into Untap and Wrath, then we would be in trouble. But I think that taking this window is just a good play for me. So it obviously worked out. See you next round. All right, here we go. Round number 3. I just realized that the record counter was not working properly, so I just cut it for the rest of the league, unfortunately. Playing against Lurrus, this hand does not really look good against Lurrus. This hand is better. This hand is certainly better. Gonna keep this, and I think I'm gonna bottom Crumbling Vestige. And then we can go turn 1 Temple Garden Gracer into Saga. We can get that going. We'll see which form of Lurrus my opponent's playing. So far, it could be any. Verdant Catacombs. Okay. Black red. Okay, could be Shadow. Could be not Shadow. That's a Primeval Titan. So I think I'm just gonna make tokens here. Just gonna get my value from this Saga. Opponent could dress down, but you want to heat my Arboreal Gracer? Definitely take that trade. Opponent is indecisive about which step to take next. Okay. Alright. So this means that the Ren dies. Because now I just make a token and tap, make another token, and I can just attack the Ren. Now the question is, do I go for... I think I have to go for Amulet. I could go for... for the other thing instead. I could go for Expedition Map, but Expedition Map means that next turn I'm cracking it and playing a bounce land. Like, I'm still pretty behind. Maybe it is better though. Maybe it is better. My opponent fetching a forest and getting some basics here is probably good for me, because it means that they're not playing Shadow. It's nice. Alright, 6, yeah. Surprise Endurance. So, the main deck Endurance, baby. I would like to block, please. Thank you very much. Serving for 9 next turn. We find a bounce land, we just win the game. I think we're probably in an okay spot here. We play monkey. Yeah, that's fine. It's kind of whatever, if you ask me. Is there anything I can call for that matters? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna play the Dryad instead. Dryad fixes my mana so I can T-West next turn. Could attack with everything. I think I'm just gonna swing with the constructs because they die to bolt. And we're leaving back 2 blockers. Well, this is good for me. Like if my opponent is willing to like spend 1 of their mana every single turn to make sure that they can, you know, keep that monkey going, I'm okay with that. Okay. Dashed monkey. Yeah, I'm blocking. Got a bolt for this endurance. And holy heat. Another monkey. Oh, they wanted to enable push. Okay. So if I attack with everything, they just have to chump. They're in the abyss. They didn't have the push last turn, right? So they're just in the abyss. I think I am far ahead enough that I'm going to call for Gracer just so my opponent cannot connect with this monkey. So white and green call for Gracer, play Gracer. I just don't want to give my opponent anything. Yeah, I don't want my opponent to have access to more mana. I don't want for them to potentially find something from my deck that can do something for them, you know? Okay, so we are playing against not Shadow, but a Shadow-ish deck. So I think the game plan is to do this. What I heard Punt say is that the game plan against Shadow was this. This right here and 2 Azuzas. This is the game plan against Shadow. Now the difference here is that even though I don't think Saga is fantastic, I think Saga is okay. Also, Colossus can potentially be a big deal. I think I like Colossus better than Gargs, because Gargs just dies to Unholy Heat. And obviously the reason to cut Colossus against Shadow is Dress Down, right? And I think everything else is fine. Rest in Peace seems not so great, but still okay against them. Against Shadow it's great because it blanks Drown in the lock, right? But against the Jund version, it blanks Tarmogoyfs, it blanks Ren and Sixes, it makes Unholy Heat bad. Yeah, I think it's enough. Let's try this and see how it goes. Let's try this and see how it goes. It's funny how we won that game 1 without ever casting a Primeval Titan. You love to see it. Okay. Opponent kept 7. Definitely want to find a white source here. I still don't think I'm shipping this hand. If they have turn 1 monkey, that could potentially be a problem. Inquisition. Alright, pick your poison. Pick your poison, opponent. Probably gonna take the Dryad, I would imagine. Seems like the better pick. Maybe Prismatic Ending, if they have some threat that they're trying to push through. I can't imagine they take anything that's not Dryad. Maybe some Summoner's Pact. Do they have Surgical or something? That does not seem correct. That does not seem correct to me at all. Rest in Peace is not a great draw. I think my opponent knew about it. Pyrite Spellbomb. Okay. Pass the turn. So now next turn we can Dryad into Prismatic Ending. So their 1-drops are no good anymore. And Cycle Spellbomb. Not sure why this is still in their deck, honestly. Like it can shock on Azusa. I don't know, that doesn't seem particularly impressive. Alright, OP. We have an answer for this bad boy. Bad and sexy boy. Wow. Just put Lurrus in hand is the plan. I am very surprised. I am very, very surprised. I'm gonna terminate this. I mean, they have to do it now. They kind of have to terminate right now. Like, if I untap with this Dryad, the game's over, right? I just play the Rip. I think they know about the Rip because of the bubble. Okay, there's a Saga. It's fine. Not too threatening, really. It's a dashed monkey. And I think we take it. There's a Dryad. Okay. You can cast it if you want. Not gonna stop you from casting that Dryad. I do think that this white mana matters a little bit too much. I guess any land here is just insane. Alright. I'm gonna double hit there. Growth Chamber. Okay, so... One, two, three, four, five, six. I think I want to bounce the Tolera West. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here they can Alpine Moon name my Simic Growth Chamber. But if they do that, then that's kind of just fine. Gonna dash monkey again. This is the problem with the dashed monkey. I feel like their mana is now stuck. If they had cast the monkey, they would be progressing their mana every single time. And now instead they're just kind of stuck. Molten Rain, dude. Wow. Molten Rain. I was not expecting that, I'll tell you. I was not expecting a Molten Rain. So they didn't get any value at all from their Saga. They still dash in Monkey, so they're not really developing their mana situation either. I am very surprised about how my opponent's been playing this game. I think they've been just kind of doing stuff without a plan, really. All the things they're doing feel kind of random to me. We're drawing like garbage, by the way, too. Second Molten Rain is brutal. We're drawing like absolute trash, and we're still in this game-ish. Can we find the Dryad of the Elysian Grove? Can we find a white source? Alright, finally they figure out. What's a white source? It's not the best white source I've ever seen, but it is a white source. I think I'm just gonna purge the Lurrus. No, I'm gonna ending the Lurrus. So white. Man, I really wish that I had found like a Temple Garden there. I really wish I had found a Temple Garden. Castle Game Break is gone. Thoughtseize. So that's gonna take Titan. Putting that at 8. Speeding themselves down pretty hard. Okay. If my opponent offers the trade, I'm gonna take it. Abrupt Decay. Okay. Just gotta find a white source here, really. Cavern of Souls. It's a blocker. Not the most exciting match of Magic I've ever played, but we're still playing. Still playing over here. Can we find a Dryad, please? Temple Garden, no! I needed that. I needed that Temple Garden. Damn it. This is brutal. So I can Vesuva my own Vestige in order to get rid of something. I think I'm gonna get rid of... I'm gonna rest in peace here. It makes the DRC worse, and it means that if I guess if I draw Primeval Titan, I can't even cast it, so... Yeah, getting pretty punished here. I mean, the start of this game were the Molten Rains, right? My opponent having double Molten Rain is what got me. Also, it's so greedy. Their mana base is really, really rough, and they're playing Molten Rain instead of something like... just like Stone Rain. I don't know how I feel about that. Not sure how I feel about that. There goes Kaheera Crossroads. Brutal. All right, next game. I still think our plan is pretty solid. We just drew very badly. We just drew extremely poorly that game. Yeah, our plan is fine. Our plan is good. Let's just draw a functional hand by turn 10. Sure, keep this. Keep these. Valakut tapped Sego. I could have played Foothills, fetch for Temple Garden there. I don't think I can just go that on turn 2, holding up Purge. Never mind. Not holding up Purge. And Thoughtseize. Okay. Gonna get Temple Garden right now. Best draw is a Dryad. It's technically a Dryad, but it's a Dryad with a Time Walk attached to it. Probably it's still good enough. Oh no! They're playing Molten Rain. Well, I died to Molten Rain anyway, so even fetching Azusa doesn't save me here. I just realized that they're playing Molten Rain. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. Now I'm dead to Molten Rain. Oh, that was silly. I got totally thrown off by the Molten Rain. Oh, that's so bad. Definitely taking the trade here. Again, I can't afford for them to go, Molten Rain or whatever. All right. We'll leave another day. Not a bad draw. Okay, so we have Giant covered, so we're gonna name Beast here. And Beast covers both Cultivator Colossus and Gracer. We don't want to have 6 because if they have Inquisition, we can pact for a Titan. What's a monkey? All right. So they're going to exile something off the top. The Celestial Purge. That's fine. Land? Any untap land? Iladamri's Call. Iladamri's Call. I think we just pass a turn here. I call on my opponent's end step. Let's see if they dash. And I think I'm going to call for Endurance. Yeah, there's the monkey. I think I just call for Endurance. Exile Valakut. Good, we didn't want to draw that. I wonder if they're going to put Lurrus in hand here. Whether they have like a Molten Rain or something. Tarmogoyf. Okay. So, white and green. Gonna call for... Well, I mean, they have 0 cards in hand. I think I'm calling for Dryad, actually. But if we do find an untapped source, I'm just gonna... Okay. Land. If I look at you, always yes, always yield. Bounce this, play that, name giant. Pass the turn. So now we can pact for endurance if my opponent does anything. Thoughtseize. Well, yeah, I'm definitely pacting for endurance here. Endurance. Green, green, 1. And if they didn't draw the Thoughtseize there, they were super mega dead, right? They take 2, down to 7. Goif is a 5/6, so if I find a bounce land, they're just dead. They put Lurrus to hand instead of playing it. Okay. They can't attack. Green, 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 whatever. I guess I should just pay properly. Like that. It's a cavern. Giant, beast. If I attack, I trade. I'm trying to think if there's any reason why I would want to hold this. Croxa. Croxa is a reason to play it out. Yeah, sure. That's good enough for me. This doesn't really matter. I could have attacked with endurance. If opponent blocks, I kill the Goif instead, but I don't think I'm interested in doing that. I think I'd much rather go face. Play Lurrus, do nothing. Easy game. Sweet. Got there. 2-1. See you next round. Alright, playing against Yorion. Opponent kept 7. This hand does not seem good enough to me against Yorion on the draw. It means I can go turn 3 Azusa. Yeah, maybe this is fine. Let's keep it. It means I can go turn 3 Azusa. And we just need to find the Titan. Hallowed Fountain Shadow Spear. That surely is a start. Am I playing against some sort of silly taxes deck? That's why I play the Wooded Foothills turn 1, by the way. Because my opponent could potentially be a taxes deck, and if they're playing a taxes deck, then I want to make sure that I can fetch before my opponent's arbiter comes online. And the reason to not play either of my bounce lands on turn 2 is because of Sprangseas, which my opponent is very likely playing multiple copies of. Either Spellbomb resolves. So I guess they have Counterspell? I think I'd rather fetch here for another Temple Garden. And now I'm gonna go for Azusa. I know that I literally just drew the amulet, but still, like if my opponent, they have been holding 2 mana, so if they do have a counterspell, I'd rather they counterspell the Azusa than counterspell the amulet, because I have another copy. And it looks like they do have the counterspell. Yep, it's perfectly fine. Now this coming turn, This coming turn, I think I'm gonna play the amulet first. I guess I need to see what I draw before I make any decisions. I wonder if this is an Urza deck. It's very likely an Urza deck, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So here's an amulet. Here's a bounce land. This is 3 mana. Bounce that. Play a Susa. Play another bounce land. One is very clearly F6. Just pass the turn here. And just gotta dodge another counter spell. And we win next turn. This is looking good though. This is definitely looking good. They're gonna spellbomb something? That would be great for me. If they're considering using either spellbomb on anything. Maybe we should be playing around Metallic Rebuke, which I didn't at all there. And I think I could have. No, I guess I couldn't have. They could have just rebuked my Yasusa. I guess they could have just rebuked my amulet. So yeah, no, I don't think I have to play around rebuke there. Opponent deep in the tank about something. I don't know what it could be. Maybe they're considering cracking this spellbomb. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. Of note, they didn't equip the Shadow Spear last turn. Like, they could have equipped the Shadow Spear and they didn't. So that's something to keep in mind. It's possible that it was just a mistake too, but it seems unlikely. And for 3 mana, I don't know what I... Is there anything I should be afraid of for 3 mana? There's the Thirst for Knowledge. Is that what's up? There's no way they're playing Thirst. No, apparently my opponent simply just did not use their mana. Maybe they were trying to represent something, but like they have 6 too, so it's very hard to represent stuff when you're F6. All right, what do you got, opponent? Equip Shadow Spear. Very threatening. Very threatening. Yes, I will take your damage. Can we draw Cavernous Souls one time? I mean, I'm going to play around Rebuke because I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I play around another counter spell. I don't think I play around another counter spell because they didn't have the counter spell last turn, right? They can flip into a counter spell. I guess they just didn't want to use it last turn. Very interesting. Well, attack you. Very casual attack. Well, they drew 2 of their counter spells. Good for them. I don't think I'm supposed to chill there, though. So now they can start doing some Yorion stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 7 mana. They don't spin Urza. I I guess I have Colossus in my deck. I have Colossus in my deck, so I'm not supposed to play these lands. What's their last card? Why would they not spin? Where? Because even if it's another counter spell, it's free for them to spin. I am very confused about my opponent's been playing this game. They also did not put Yorion in their hand. I am very confused. They were also tanking a lot and then just doing nothing. We're like 4 minutes ahead on them. I don't know what's going on here. Alright. Can I attack opponent? Just pass the turn. Not much for us to do here. Alright, here we go. They're doing something. Just pass. I am very confused. Not sure that they read what this card does. Alright, now they did. Oh, they had aware. Okay, there we go. They just top deck the other part of the combo. Easy game, easy life. Easy game, easy life. Okay, so we want that. I don't think we want endurance. Definitely want forces. And do we care about rest in peace? I think 1 copy is fine, but I don't want more. We can just cut all the Gracers. I always leave in 1 Gracer because we can always, you know, pact for Lotus Petal whenever you have an Amulet and the bounce land. So I never fully cut all of the Arboreal Gracers. But in matchups like this one, which are pretty grindy, it's fairly common for me to cut Gracers. Because we can't instant speed with Jukibog, just discard just doesn't really do anything for us. So keep it in the sideboard. But Rest in Peace actually does stop their infinite combo. So maybe it's worth it as 1 copy. I'm not even sure that I want it, honestly. So let's just have it as 1 copy. We can, you know, potentially cut it for game number 3 if we deem it not worthy. I guess I keep this hand, but I really need a bounce land or something like that. Opponent moves to 6. Just gonna hit some land drops here. That's it, really. Okay. Bounce land would be a nice draw. Any land would do it, but bounce land would be particularly exciting. Damping Sphere. Yeah, this card has not been good against Amulet in a really long time. I advise against bringing Damping Sphere against Amulet. I don't think it's very good. don't think there's too much that my opponent can do here that I would be upset about. Prismatic Ending seems fine. Again, don't care about this. Play that, say go. Urza could be a problem though. I think if they Urza, Stoneforge. I'm not really about to lose to a Kaldra against this garbage deck, just because I'm not drawing cards. Oh, feels bad, man. Feels real bad. We get Hardcast Force here. Obviously, my opponent does that. Okay, so this is dying anyway, so I'm just going to blow up my own Saga to deny my opponent the draw there. It uses up their mana, and it just trades for a card, which I think it's fine. We've been really unlucky this match. We've been really unlucky this match. So this is 5 mana. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we Gracer. This is 6 mana. Bounce this because we still have Colossus in hand. Play my Titan. Remember when I said that we were getting lucky? I was just strategically complaining so I can draw better. It's a tried and true strategy, trust me. Just bounce this. Attack, say yes. Gonna Cavernous Souls, and I guess I'm going to Urza Saga. Cavernous Souls on Beast. And the Saga, mostly to entertain my opponent. Although they didn't have the Solitude for this Primeval Titan, so I think they're pretty dead. Fairly dead is how I would describe my opponent at this spot. And if I play this Stronghold here, I'm gonna pay for Pact 1, 2, 3, 4. If I play the Stronghold, then they can't even block with the Kaldra because they just die to the trample damage anyway. So this should be just good. That force on the Spreading Seas was kind of sexy, I gotta say. You got a Kaldra, my friend. Now what? You're swinging? I mean, I'm gonna take my chomp while I got it, but... So that's my opponent just conceding the game, right? This is my opponent just conceding the game, isn't it? Oh no, they did draw the Solitude. Pitching Thopter Foundry. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't have enough mana to cast the guy this turn, but that is fine. Oops. I think I just got bugged, right? Because I untapped this, I paid here, here, and here, and it didn't give me the option to click yes. I definitely would like to see the replay of this, but no, I'm obviously not going to bore you with that. Well, we were definitely winning this game, which is the most frustrating thing. We were just winning this game so easily. That's really frustrating. See you next round. Well, I checked the VOD, and apparently what happened is I tapped the Cavern of Souls as opposed to tapping the forest, and that's why I made a misclick. The brutal thing is that this never happened to me like since I started streaming, like 4 years ago almost, and it happened to me twice in the past month, which is very funny. Anyway, time to brush it off and move on to this match where we're playing against Y Principe, still playing apparently. I'm gonna keep this hand so we can go turn 1 Castle, turn 2 Sanctuary, and then take it from there. Endurance potentially fine against the Obosh deck, but it moves to 5. Man, I'm so tilted about losing that previous match. Oh man, way to give up. I think we're about to get turned to moon. I mean, this is just justice, right? I'm gonna play Castle tapped Sego, because that can set up. If I find the Gracer, I can cast it next turn. I think I'm about to get Blood Moon, and we can't beat Blood Moon game 1, so just gonna concede here. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess I am gonna bring it in the prismatic endings. Force of Vigor look fine. Celestial Purge looks great. Bring in Cavern. We're gonna cut all the sagas. Cut 1 Asusa. Cut at least 2 amulets. Maybe Gargs is kind of sick here. Yeah, maybe Gargs can do the thing. All right. All right. I mean, this hand beats not turn to moon, so if they have turn 3 Blood Moon, we're in good shape. I guess that we can even interact with their thing on turn 2. On turn 1, I mean. So let's name Beast here, because that casts Gracer. And then we're gonna go turn 1 Amulet. Really hoping to dodge Force. Oh, they can't be playing Force. Okay, so we are probably going to... I could Pact for Dry. See, if I find a bounce land, Asusa. Yeah, that's great. So we're just going to bounce here, play Asusa, play bounce. And I'm playing the bounce first because if my opponent has some way of killing the Asusa, which is very unlikely, but if they have any way of killing the Asusa, we can at least kill the thingy. And they didn't shock, so that probably means that we're gonna be able to resolve this prime time. Oh no, Fury's brutal there. Ugh, Fury's devastating. Yep. Well, nothing we can do here. We just have to hope that they don't have land into moon. That's a land. Looks like they also have the moon. I mean, at least we do have, what's his name this time around. So, ooh, what? And we even drew the Gracer, so we don't have to Pact for Asusa. Sweet. That is 6 mana. Yep. All right, we somehow got there. Was not expecting that to happen, but I'll take it. I guess this is the plan. I guess this is the plan. It's not a great plan, but it's better than our game one plan, which is just directly concede. So, okay, okay, sounds pretty good against Blood Moon. Give you that. The only issue I have with this hand is that my opponent has ugly art forests, so I guess I can copy my own. Yeah, much better play. Much better play. I could just force this. I could just force that. So play land, play Gracer, Vestige. Point is missing land drops. That's a lot of mana though. That is a lot of mana. I think that I'm too afraid of the Blood Moon. I think that I'm just way too afraid of the Blood Moon, so I'm just gonna give my opponent like insane amounts of mana just so that I can guarantee I get rid of the Blood Moon. It's a Bone Crusher, that's fine. I'm just gonna pass here. So now if I find Primetime off the top, we can just cast it. Oh no, my Gracer. Oh no, my face. I could Time Walk here. Because I think my opponent's last card in hand is the what's his name? Season Pyro. So now they just can't cast the Season Pyro. So now if I find the Primeval Titan, they are dead. Primetime? Growth Chamber. Play land, 3 mana. Play Azusa, 3 mana. I'm 1 mana short. I'm 1 mana short. Which is the saddest amount of mana to be short by. Just straight up the saddest amount of mana. Three to transmute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ay, 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 ay. Yep. And it is what I have to do. because I can't guarantee, unfortunately, that this Azusa is gonna survive. So if they draw a moon off of the Season Pyro, I'm in a lot of trouble. I could also just pact for big Gargs here. The problem is, I mean, I can just do that next turn anyway. But the problem with pacting for Gargaroth is that I packed for Gargaroth and my opponent just trades. They just trade for it. So I think I just have to go for the highest. For the highest value play. So they drew a Sprawl. Here they play the Season Pyro that we knew about. Or at least that we thought that they had. And now we have to dodge a Blood Moon in those two cards. Can we dodge the Blood Moon? We cannot dodge the Blood Moon. Okay. I guess I'm gonna get Prime Time anyway. Get 2 basics. We're probably gonna lose to the Obosh. Probably gonna lose to the Obosh, but my opponent can just cast the Obosh this turn. Big yikes. I mean, we do have some chump blockers. Yeah, we just needed to dodge the Magus that one turn. I still think I played it correctly. I still think I played it correctly. Pretty brutal. I deserve this for misclicking my own lethal in the previous game. Let's do that. I'm probably dead on board here. But if I find the Dryad, if my opponent plays Scared, and then that's 6. That's lethal. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. Getting paired against a non-deck. I deserve it though. Man, that misclick is gonna haunt me. That is the worst misclick ever. That is the worst misclick ever. Alright, so we should have probably gone... At least we should have beaten the stupid Urza deck, and then we would have probably not gotten paired against the shitty red-green deck. But pretty sad that we built this deck with the Lurrus decks in mind, and we got paired against 2 Lurrus decks. One was the John deck, which we did beat fairly easily, and then the other one was Hammer, which we lost against when my opponent having Thoughtseize on turn 1 every single game. Didn't get to test against the Shadow deck, but I think that this version is very interesting. The Gargaroth feels a little bit underwhelming, particularly because, you know, it just gets killed straight up by Unholy Heat. So if your plan is to go for the Gargaroth route and like you don't find your resting piece or one of your endurances, then all of a sudden your Gargoth is just like a terrible plan. So I'm not super into that. I think that Punt said that he would want to have a third copy of endurance over Gargoth, and I think that makes a ton more sense to me. But yeah, this list is definitely interesting, and considering the state of the current format, I would not be surprised like if you're trying to play some Amulet, like this is just a very good way to go about things. Particularly because the Shadow matchup is an absolute nightmare, and this deck is kind of built with that in mind. So it's clearly very, very teched against it. So we're gonna see how things go as I continue to try things out, particularly if there's no bans on Tuesday, which no way to know. No way to know. I definitely hope that Lurrus goes, but you know, I don't know, like Wizards or the DCI has not really been known for making the right decision more often than not. They've done fine, but yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this league. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And sorry for the misclicks and the and that stuff. It still stings, man. It really still stings. If you did enjoy the league, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and you leave me a comment down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Bye bye.